Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this week's Explaining Hemp. My name is Sarah Williams, and I am the CEO and founder of Hemp Pays for Healthcare. Brand new branding this week, Hemp Pays for Healthcare. And so today I'm very excited to welcome Richard. Oh, I didn't confirm. Richard Charpentier?
Charpentier, but close enough.
It's French. It's got to have Charpentier. Okay, I want to say it right. It's very important. And so I'm really excited. Well, he's with a company called Baking Innovation. And today we're going to talk about that thing that I've been on this week, which is food. As you've been following me on Facebook, you've noticed that my son is battling a candida infection. And so we're cleaning that out. And that's been a really rough time in our family to deal with that sugar and that wheat and all that yeast that's inside his body. But we're getting through it. And hemp seed has honestly been one of the great ways that we've been able to get him proteins and fats as he's walked through this. And so I'm really excited to hear about Richard's company and what he's doing for food and for hemp as food. Before we get started with this thing, once again, welcome. Everybody say hi to Richard. Hands up, say hi. Okay. So before we get started with this thing, let's go ahead and pray it in. So if you'll bow your heads with me and pray, let's do this. Heavenly Father, I thank you for this day. It's your day and we rejoice in it. We are so glad that you brought Richard to this broadcast today. And for those that watch now and even into the future, Lord, I ask that you bless them, that you open their eyes and their eyes of their understanding to the way that hemp is truly the powerhouse crop that will save America, save Alaska, and save our planet. Father, help us to educate about how it is food for the people and how it is not something that will just get you high, but it's something that can truly nourish your body and nourish the body that you gave us. So, Father, we ask that you bless this broadcast, and we thank you for it in advance. In the mighty name of Jesus, we pray. Amen. All right. Thank you, everyone, again, for joining us. I want to thank my sponsor down in the banner. You'll see Relief Alaska is this month's sponsor. Thank you so much. If you're looking to sponsor and get your name out there for the support of the Hemp Pays for Healthcare initiative and Explaining Hemp, it is a $50 sponsorship for the StreamYard broadcast, so I appreciate that. Just contact me and let me know if you're interested in sponsoring. We're also looking for a Wi-Fi sponsorship, which involves a special spotlight videos, getting an hour to talk about your business and what you're doing specifically. So this is our next section. Let's talk about hemp news. What's going on in the world of hemp? So, Richard, this is our opportunity to discuss kind of what is going on out there. Let's look at Hemp Industry Daily and see what they have to say. All right. Dun, da, da. Oh, my goodness. Okay. So everybody can see that. Looks like our top article is New Colorado Law Sets Up Pollen Drift Review to Minimize Hemp and Marijuana Conflicts. Remember, guys, it is the same plant from the same cannabis genus. And pollen, honestly, we have no control where pollen's going to go. Are you God? No, you're not. So, but then there's this thing where it just flows in the wind. And for outdoor crops, man, it can do some drifting. That's for sure. So, all right, get to check out. I don't know the detail on what that law is, but if you live in Colorado, you're definitely going to want to go check that out. Something that Alaska could probably learn from. We are going to have to worry about that a little bit, but we'll probably be mostly an indoor grown industry, but we'll have one, maybe, I don't know, 2 good crops every year. We'll see. We have Delta 8 bans still discussing. We have this industry survey. Gosh, is there anything exciting? Sizzling heat prompts new requirement for hemp growers. Hemp industry must emulate mature markets. I think that's vitally important, that as we grow up in this industry, that we need to understand that if we want to compete, we need to act like an adult in the mature market. So that's interesting, especially when it comes to commodity trading and things. Hemp is one heck of a commodity, right? CBD brands uniquely poised to grow female-focused categories. And then we're back into consistent testing. Gosh, not a lot of great, incredible headlines this week. Yeah, much about heat. How hot is it down there? And you're in Pennsylvania, right, Richard? Richard, can you hear me? Oh, I don't have you. You're muted, or for some reason there's no
Yeah.
sound.
Oh, yeah. For some reason, I was muted. I do
There we
apologize.
go.
No, it is about 95 to 100 today. So we're trying to find a way to tolerate the high heat
Yes.
weather today.
Oh my goodness. Here in Alaska, it's 80 degrees. Okay, guys, that's insane. We don't know what to do with ourselves today. Like we're all gonna get outside and go and play in the water, but yeah, it's pretty warm out there. And welcome to summer, I guess. It is July 17th. Let's keep that in mind. But man, that is super hot. So let's see if there's anything over here on Let's Talk Hemp to discuss. Nope, they're just talking about headliners. Gosh, let's just get right into the most important part of the broadcast, which is Richard. Richard's the most important part of our today's broadcast, so let's get right into that. So, if you don't know, hemp is food. Hemp is food. Hemp seed and hemp leaves, and really the hemp plant can be consumed for extremely nutritional benefits. And so I'm really excited to chat with Richard as a pioneer in this space or in this area. And so welcome again. So Richard, tell us a little bit about who you are, where you came from, how did you get into hemp, kind of what's your story?
All right. So, first of all, thank you for having me, Sarah, on your podcast. That's great to be able to talk about hemp. How I started up, I've been in the bakery industry for the last 34 years. Seems like a long time, but it's been fun. So I've worked from the apprenticeship program in Europe to working in the U.S. to getting a degree in bakery science in Kansas State University and continuing working for large companies, making what you see at the retail level, all the big brands and from big companies. And 2 years ago, I decided to do something on my own because I wanted to develop food that was better. Because unfortunately, we're all driven by cost. And it was right at the same time when the USDA and FDA was regulating hemp as a grass, generally recognized as safe for hemp heart. It was a hemp protein, and I think there was another one, and all of those were now at that time authorized to put in food. So I jumped onto the concept, and I decided to create a company called Hemp and Seeds. And being from the bakery industry, I came up with the thought of having a better bread, and bread has been sort of the staple of for everybody for how many centuries, right, from the beginning
Right,
of
right.
mankind. And from that standpoint, I decided to say I'm going to do a bread that's going to be different and bring better nutrition, but use hemp as the sort of the focus, the main, being on a main stage. It has more ingredients than just hemp, but hemp is the something that I'm promoting for. As you said before, hemp is a wonderful, wonderful plant that grows very fast. That you don't waste anything from the plant. You can, you use from a nutritional standpoint, you can use the oil, you can use some of the pulp of the fiber to create plastic, and it's amazing what you can do. And as a good friend of mine who's a chef said to me once, he said, the hemp is like the vegan pig, because pig back in history used to be the only animal that you could use everything for farmers, to from the fat, etc. So I decided to go and create the hemp and seed brand, which when I did it solo, it takes, it takes a while, but it's about promoting. It's an easy bread in a package that allows for people to make an easy, healthy bread using hemp. And I do eat hemp bread and hemp seeds almost every day, and it's a fantastic ingredient.
Yes, absolutely. And as a vegan, like you said, I'm vegan, and hemp is a staple part of our diet. Honestly, it's the way that I can get most good fats and proteins into my kiddo, because other than maybe chicken nuggets, he won't eat any animal-based proteins, which is fine, because we've recently learned, as the Explaining Health broadcast yesterday, that animal-based foods are not necessarily good for you. Not
Yep.
even necessarily. They're just not good for you.
Yep.
So it's really important to use hemp as that basis for that. Now, I recently, I'm working on a program for the state of Alaska called Hemp as Food Security for Alaska's Future. And it's just an educational program basically that teaches people how to grow hemp, how to process hemp, how to store hemp, and then how to cook with it, how to use it. And with hemp, man, you can make milk by literally just blending the seeds and water. It's so simple. And you can do so many things with it. But when what was I going to say? Oh, sorry, there was a comment that popped up, and I wanted to bring it up real quick before I ask this next thing. Let's go ahead and show that. William here. Thanks, William, for watching. He says, feed the animals the hemp, and we can get the CBD benefits through them. I love meat, and meat is good. Okay, absolutely. So one of the things that is lacking in the animal food diet is hemp. In the past, it was there. It's not there. They banned it. They went all crazy. They lost their ever-loving minds. And then all of a sudden, hemp was no longer a part of what was being fed to these animals. And guess what? Animals have endocannabinoid systems too. So that's why when you give a dog or you give a cat a CBD treat, that helps them because it supplements their endocannabinoid systems. So I'm not telling you have to stop eating meat. I stand for not supporting the meat industry. That's what I stand. But what we feed the meat is vitally important too. So I think that's a great point. So let's get back to baking. So I recently, while I was doing this research for this program, I learned that it takes something like 5 pounds of flour to make 100 loaves of bread, or it was a calculation. And once I did that calculation, if I were to do it straight across with hemp flour, it would be something like 1 acre of hemp would create 795 loaves of bread, or something like that. So is it possible, though, to create a hemp flour that would make bread without wheat at all? Could we do that?
Not unfortunately not today, because hemp does not contain the gluten properties that wheat as a grain contains, which allows for the development of the rice, the volume of a bread. Although hemp does contain small portions of gluten, so for some people who are celiac, I've asked friends of mine who are manufacturers of hemp that it has about 20 parts per million, so it's very small. But I'm not a nutritional or a doctor that can say, hey, this is great, but it shouldn't trigger anything. But as of today, you can't. But you can, with the help of other ingredients, make gluten-free, which I'm working on, a gluten-free hemp bread. And the thing is, you can eat hemp seeds or hemp protein by itself or mix it in your cereal. But what's fantastic is if you put in the bread, you're not going to make 100% hemp, because it'll be too greeny, and then you're going to have to add sugar. So hemp can be used with other ingredients. In my mix, I'm using it with whole barley flour, whole wheat flour. I'm using wheat germ, apple fiber, and other ingredients to basically create extra nutrition. Hemp is fantastic by itself, but it's
Yes.
good about creating complete nutrition.
I love
And
that.
yeah.
I love that. Yeah. And that kind of leads into, why hemp is food. Is that as much as I stand on like, yay, let's eat hemp all the time, even in my own diet, when I eat too much hemp, my gallbladder is not happy with me, because it is a very rich in oil kind of product. And so you just don't want to, eat it all the time by itself. Like, you got to do something. And I love that. I love the apple fiber I can't wait to try this bread. But one of the other things that we have to consider is something called genetically modified foods, right? So some of these companies have genetically modified, meaning they change a gene within that food so that either it will produce more or it will maybe taste a little different so that it can act like a natural pesticide. And they do these things. Well, then what happens is you eat that food and it causes allergic reactions within you because maybe one of those genes they switched out was a taste gene for a pesticide gene. And all of a sudden you're eating a pesticide, right? So it's very important to consider organic and non-GMO foods. And I know they cost more, guys. I know they do, but your health is important. And you might find that you're eating less when you're eating good, right? So I love that you add things like the apple fiber sticking in my head. Like I love that. And the other pieces with it. So this is the one product. Do you offer other products as well?
Yes, we're launching. We've pushed for a family of different products under the brand Hemp and Seeds. The first one was the original, and actually I started up with a one that was containing 35 grams of protein for every 100 grams. So it was loaded with hemp, but the cost was way too high and nobody wanted to buy it. So I had to reduce it. And we've created a one that is an artesian flour. So what we're doing, we're adding a whole grain flour. Really, I'm picking non-GMO wheats and non-GMO grains. And we're adding hemp seeds and hemp protein to it to make pizza, baguettes, and croissants. And we have one which is going to be a low carb, or as people refer today in the diet world, a keto.
Keto.
And I do think, it's about offering other options using good, unusual grains such as hemp to deliver different options for people. Because as you said, Sarah, earlier, we are what we eat.
Yes.
And the gut is the only organ in the body that is not directly linked to the spinal cord in the brain. And we have about 1 trillion different bacteria. As whatever you put in your body will affect your mood, will affect how you feel, will affect your
Yep.
energy. And it's
Yep.
unbelievable. Once I deviate from, I'm not super strict, but once I deviate to travel, I feel it the next day. And I'm like, oh, I should stick to eating more hemp or eating more
Right.
greens. Yeah.
Why is it always when we travel? Why can't we just stick to it? Like I do the same thing, and it's really important. And as we battle this candida infection in my son, we've had to increase his probiotics. We've had to take some colostrum to help him, move through and kill these candida albicans. And it is just vitally important to really realize that gut health creates hyperactivity in children. It creates behavioral issues in children. It creates in your own self. Like look at your own self. Okay, guys, in the background, I have 4 kittens that are just attacking each other right now. So they're making like crazy amounts of noise. But yes, I'm so glad you brought that up, that your gut health is so vitally important. And if we can make bread, which is kind of that comfort food and that staple of all societies, I think, not just American society, but definitely all societies. If we can make it so much more nutritional for us and of course cost effective, then that makes sense in the world for sure.
Yep.
I love that. So please, guys, be sure if you have any questions about kind of what we're talking about, feel free to put those in the comments, or any just comments about what we're discussing or the American diet or anything. Please put those in the comments and let's engage. So I had another question here. We've kind of discussed hemp as food. Oh, I wanted to bring up something that I brought here, just so we have really what it means for hemp as food. Like I really, if you make an unleavened bread, you could make an unleavened bread. William just posted, what did he say? It said, can you make an unleavened bread with just hemp?
Yes, you can. I've been doing a lot of what I call unleavened breads using the Indian style breads, like the naan, the roti, or the chapati. We're using no yeast. And you can load it up with lots of seeds and lots of hemp protein. And actually, very delicious, for vegetarian, vegan. You make some chickpeas and with some whatever flavors you want to flavor it, and it's just as you know as it shows. You get all the protein and nutrition you need. Uh, I'm a big promoter of grains, versus just animal protein. I'm not a vegetarian, but I call myself a flexitarian. I choose to eat more vegetables and more protein, but I do feel better. There's no doubt. I think we as consumers we need to start thinking more with our health versus just the price of what we buy.
True, true. And when it comes to animal-based protein, guys, realize that they are the number one and only source of cholesterol. So if you struggle with cholesterol, stop eating it. Just telling you, like, you're literally putting cholesterol in your mouth when you eat animal-based proteins and when you drink milk. So you've got this issue of like putting it in your mouth, and yet the maybe there's a disconnect between what you're actually eating is what is causing your heart disease, cancer, chronic inflammation, these kinds of issues you have. Yeah, we got a big deal. So let's talk about this is kind of difficult to see. Maybe I can do that, and that will clean it up just a little bit. So let's look at this hemp hearts nutrition. Okay, so we really need to understand this is a 3 tablespoon amount of hemp hearts. Okay, hemp seeds are hard, round hemp seeds. Okay, and then you dehull them, you take off the hard outer shell, and you get this beautiful, glorious thing on the inside, which is your food. They're cholesterol free, they're gluten free, they're sodium free. They're for 3 tablespoons, we're talking 15 grams of high omega-3, omega-6, omega-9, maybe omega-7, maybe omega-9, fats. We're talking 166 calories, 9.5 grams of protein. Depending on the seed, sometimes you can get 12 grams of protein per 3 tablespoons, and even 1.2 grams of fiber, okay? And only 2.6 grams of carbohydrates. So we're talking about an extremely nutrient-dense product that is very helpful for the human body. And we don't have to, here, let's go back to that one, I think. Oh, no, not that one. This one. There we go. That we, like, literally the potential to be able to just eat straight hemp seeds if we had to survive is possible, and it's real. And so what's coming up, I don't know if you've been watching the shelves, guys, but I don't know, occasionally check into TikTok and things like that to see what's going on out there. And we have this big old problem, and that big old problem is empty shelves in the animal-based protein world and empty shelves in other places. And what are we going to do about that? Oh, and have you noticed that the USDA is paying farmers to 1.5 times their crop amount to just not grow food? I don't know why. We could go ahead and talk about it all the time, and we could speculate about conspiracy theories, but the truth is it's happening. So in order to start grabbing on to those more nutrient dense kinds of foods, here is the hemp industry come to save the day. Because not only is it a cover crop that when you plant it, it will absorb carbon sequestration from the air and it will clean the soil. So it's a great cover crop. At the same time, it produces food and it produces fiber that can create all these products that we need. Now, did you know also that that same seed that I just showed you can also be pressed to create oil because it's very oil rich, and that same oil can be used as a biofuel within your vehicle, right? So it's food and fuel at the same time. It's an incredible product. So, okay, let's get into our next. What did you have any comments, Richard?
No, I think your hemp, just a quick thing. If you wanted to use hemp and say make a snack, I've made a snack using hemp seeds, and I use quinoa, and pop the quinoa with a little bit of olive oil. It pops up popcorn, and I added that with hemp seeds just to roast them a little bit with honey, salt, and then I put some chocolate around it, and I had some nice little chocolate, and it was a delicious snack. So easy to make. And yeah,
You can pop quinoa in olive oil like popcorn.
yep, yeah. Just and you'll see you heat it
Jeez.
up, it'll start popping, and then I put the hemp seeds. I put some honey, salt, and once it was cool, it's almost like a caramel. And I put some chocolate, melted some chocolate, and once it's cold, you can cut it like a chocolate bar, and it was
Oh my
so
goodness.
easy to make, very
Oh
easy to
my
make.
goodness. I have to try that. You have to send me that. Like, I need to know how you did that because
I,
that
I, I
is amazing.
I'll
Wow.
send it to you. Yep.
Yes, yes, because I am always looking for unique recipes to put, hemp into and different grains. Because again, as we're battling a picky eater in my son who is very much addicted to sugar and wheat, we're breaking that even now. It's breaking off, and my son is beginning to realize that when he eats that Eggo waffle, that it's not good for his belly, and he's getting that connection. And so now we have to create something else. We got to put something else in that place. So William says, great comment here, William. He says, I believe you should be able to eat anything as long as you have a well-balanced diet, and hemp is a big part of it. And so I don't know, you can't eat turpentine and survive, so you can't really eat anything and everything. You've got to be very careful with the things that you eat. And the truth is sugar, oh gosh, it's so bad. So bad. And cane sugar, okay? Cane sugar specifically. It's like the devil. Let's just get down to it. It is the first gateway drug, and it is the just horribly addictive to our bodies and extremely inflammatory. And so be aware of how much sugar you're eating. I like to have, and speaking of sugar, Michael Baldwin, hi, buddy. Good to see you. Poison, indeed, for sure. Okay, so we're making. So how do people get their hands on this hempen seeds bread? How do we get that? And what's our cost?
Well, we currently are selling it on Amazon, and if you look for rustic French bread, we call it rustic. I put the spin, being a French baker, or hemp and seed bakery mix. And for those which we tend to use Amazon, unfortunately, we have to. It's sort of the easy thing to get everything nowadays online. It's $8.99 free shipping. So
Okay.
you get to try the bread. It's really easy. That even a friend of mine, his 9-year-old daughter, made it, no problem. So it's super easy to make a good loaf of bread. And
Okay.
actually, on the hemp, I've used, and we were about to sell it, but we're not selling it yet. A bread bag, because to conserve your bread, and the hemp textile as a material is naturally antimicrobial. So if you put
Yes.
your bread in there, or anything you want to save in there, especially with bread, not in the fridge. People put in the fridge, but it stales your bread, and
Yeah.
it'll be good for a week. So you have a good, healthy bread for the week.
That's really good. And I think society, I mean, I hate plastic, guys. You
Yep.
know that 88% of our oceans are covered in plastic, and it's increasing every day, and we're not changing our consumption habits because these corporations are continuing to add plastic, massive amounts of plastic, to the packaging options that they give us. And that's why I like working with companies like Pura Vida, because they give you a biodegradable, plant-based, cereal flour-based plastic. And so any opportunity you can do to store your food in a way that is safe for you, but doesn't involve some plastic bag or anything like that, is, yes, I love that. That's so great. So hopefully, guys, offline, Richard and I can talk about getting his product up on hempforhealthcare.com, and you guys can come and purchase it from us as well, and that would be great. But that's very exciting. So thank you, Richard, so much for sharing about your business and about this product. As for Hemp for Healthcare, the model is simple. And if you're joining us for the first time, please subscribe or follow on whatever your channel you're watching this on. I've got you broadcasted on, I think, 6 channels at this moment. And so for those of you that are new to the concept, what does hemp pays for healthcare mean? Well, it's very simple. We take hemp, and its possibility to grow it as a crop that can feed you and fuel your car and make a house and make clothing and make plastics and all of these, and papers. Let's not forget papers. Shout out to Tiny E Paper Company and Erica Halverson making great moves for her paper company right now. Guys, just know that hemp can do it all, right? And here in Alaska, we need an industry that can take care of us, because oil isn't going to do it. That's truth. And so we've got to come up with something different, and hemp is that answer. And so the idea, though, is very simple. We grow hemp, and then I'm sorry, I'm going to say it, tax it. Maybe we tithe it. Okay, I don't like the tax word. I like tithing. Okay, I want you to voluntarily, as a hemp business and a hemp farmer, participate in this program because it is good for the people. Okay, I don't want to force you. I don't want to take you to jail if you don't pay the taxes. I don't want to do any of that crap. That's ridiculous. But I want you to voluntarily participate in this program, because you know that when you pay your tithe to the healthcare fund, that you're healing your community. And so as a community, we decide to step up. So we take this tithe and we put that money into a healthcare fund. Then we use that money to pay for healing, healthcare services, single payer healthcare services. When you're in an accident, when you're sick, you go to a doctor and it's taken care of. They do it in other civilized countries. Why can't we do it in America, right? We can. And we don't need to jack your taxes through the roof in order to do this. We can connect it to an industry that is good for our people and good for our economy. So we buy hemp and we fund healthcare. There's two other pieces to the initiative, and that's the Industrial Hemp for Prisons program and the hemp houses for the homeless. So this is an opportunity for us to really invest in the most vulnerable portions of our society and lift them up and believe in them, and use the hemp industry as our backing for that as well. Then again, we take the profits from hempforhealthcare.com and we invest that into healthcare, but not just pharmaceutical healthcare. You guys know I stand against that. Plant-based medicine. I got a plant for that. There's a plant for whatever you got going on. There's a plant for that. So even in Germany, where they require homeopathic or naturopathic medicine first, we need to do that here in America, because pharmaceuticals are destroying our people. They're killing our people. More people are having horrific side effects from pharmaceuticals, including a vaccine, than those that are actually benefiting from them. So my friends, I'm just asking you to do something a little bit different. That America can have a healthcare for everyone system. It's possible. Hemp can pay for healthcare, but we have to change the way we do things. It's not hard. You just buy hemp. You support a company like Richards and you say, yeah, I want to eat hemp food. Because why? Because it's good for my body. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to make a choice out of self-love for myself and for those around me. So if you support what I'm doing, please go ahead and you can go to hempforhealthcare.com. You can donate. You can buy hemp. You can send a PayPal to hempforhealthcarenak@gmail.com. There's all sorts of ways to support what it is that I'm doing, even in small doses, $10, $20, anything. You can go to Hemp for Healthcare in America on Patreon. And so the idea here is we're not just doing it in Alaska. We're taking this state centralized healthcare system to every state in America. Because I'm sorry, guys, the feds can't do it. They're just not going to be able to do it. It's not going to work. It's just not going to work. Every state is so different that every state needs to manage the healthcare needs of their people. And so you as a Philadelphian, right? You as a Pennsylvanian, those of you that are watching from other states, you could be responsible for changing the health of your community. And you can do that by buying hemp. And so it's a big mission, guys, and I can't do it alone, and I need your help. So we start by #BuyHemp. Okay, go to Amazon, get Richard's product, or hopefully soon come to hempforhealthcare.com and get that. And we just thank you for the way that you and your buying choices are changing the world we live in by buying hemp. So Richard, thank you again for coming on. Sorry for like during that last segment, like my washing machine is like in the background, so I'm like yelling. But anyway, I appreciate you being here. How do people get a hold of you with questions, or how do they find you?
I'm on my website, which is baking-innovation, singular.com, and I can be reached out there. I'm a bakery consultant, but my goal, just as you said, Sarah, is to promote people to eat better and make better choices every day. And I always tell, we put premium gasoline in our cars, but we put cheap food in our bodies. And I think it's changing that, where we think our bodies are, it's a temple, and if we feel better, we'll make better decisions. And food can do it, and hemp can definitely help.
Yes, and hemp is in hemp. Health is wealth, and that's great. I love that. I love that for sure. So awesome. I went ahead and put the website in the comments, so we've got it there. And is there any questions from anyone that's watching? Oh dear, I've got a little kitten decide to come around and visit. Yeah, guys, pray for me. I got 4 kittens. Man, they're gonna go sometime very soon. But she's playing peekaboo. I was gonna try to show you, but okay, watch. Here we go. Ready? Here's one. Right? She's adorable. Look. Oh, she's so cute. Okay, and get off the table though. All right, awesome. So next week, let me look at our guest for next week. I'm very, very excited. He is another pioneer. I mean, this year we are really focusing on the pioneers of the world. And we have and my son's bringing over Pinky Jr.
All right. Looks like a boy, but he's actually a girl.
But he's a girl. That's right. That's great. Okay. And I've got one more here. Let me see. Patrick McCartan. And he is with Regenibus. I'm very, very excited. He focuses in cannabis and hemp and psychedelics, sustainability and things of that nature. I am so excited. He's going to come on and just talk about all things hemp and what he's doing. The element of psychedelics is very interesting. I think it really takes an awakened species for us to understand that we've tried to criminalize Mother Nature for entirely too long. And what we need to realize is that you can never control desires of the flesh with legal action. So instead of throwing addicts or throwing people in jail because maybe they consumed a mushroom or something that was illegal in the eyes of men, how about we look at the addict like the human being that they are and try to understand why are they trying to escape their pain? And see if there are ways to use these psychedelics in healing ways. I have found that even in my own experience, of course, I've only consumed mushrooms twice in my life, but in both of those experiences, I had very spiritual experiences. And so sometimes we need to realize that society is meant to keep you in the world and not worrying about spiritual things and things of heaven and things of the kingdom of God. And so when we live for the world, we're not exactly living. So breaking free of that is really important. So I'm really excited to have Patrick come on next week. He's on LinkedIn. You can learn more about him there, Patrick McCartan there. So Richard, thank you again. Any last minute thoughts?
Well, so the website too, I forgot, the hempandseeds.com is there. You can buy from there as well if you want to buy from us directly and not buy from Amazon. So
okay. And that's hemp and seeds.
And the letter N and seeds.
Okay.
So very straightforward. So, but thank you very much for having me. It was a very entertaining topic, and I hope we can only change one person at a time. And I hope a few people listening, maybe one will say, "Hey, I'm going to make different decisions the way I eat or the way I view things." So hopefully, we've accomplished something.
Absolutely. Thank you, Richard, so much. You have a blessed day. Now, let me go ahead and bless you, my lovely audience. May the Lord bless you and may he keep you. May he lift up his face towards you, shine his countenance upon you. be gracious to you, and most of all, during these uncertain times, give you his peace. In the mighty name of Jesus, I bless you. God bless America. God bless Alaska. And God bless you. I love you. I'll see you guys next Saturday.
God bless. Bye.